Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harrison. You might know me online as Rorixon, and I'm joined, as always, by friends and co-hosts.
Rowan, you might know me online as Mocha, and I'm so happy that we have a best of three ladder. Might be getting ahead of myself. I am joined by...
This is Sheldon. Probably know me as Captain Nova, who plays with 6 birds now, I guess.
Captain Nova plays with 6 birds on the field. Yeah, we've got some fun things to talk about. It's been a bit. I don't know. When was the last time all 3 of us were on the episodes?
It was like a month ago.
Something. It might not be that dramatic, but
I think it was like a month earliest.
Wait, hold on. I have to go look at.
I've at least missed the last 2 weeks.
Our channel to see, because you. Hold on. It has been at least 2 weeks. I was alone last week. So alone. Where's my channel? What the YouTube? Why do you not love me? Anyway, how's life? What's going on?
Oh, not honestly, just kind of realizing that I don't think I can pump out Pokemon content as much as I want to. So instead, I'm just life just is not going to allow it. So instead, I've kind of started just like trying to work on like long form stuff like real slowly, and it'll come out when it comes out. And I don't really care what the view count is, but it's been pretty fun. Kind of like actually messing with DaVinci and making some content around Guild Wars. It's a good time.
Nice.
Is DaVinci finally working for your machine now?
Oh, it's a new machine, so yes.
Yeah, because I remember before.
The old computer was getting close to a decade old at this point, and didn't like a lot of things.
Sure, that's very exciting.
I mean, there are some really cool teams in Reg E I'd love to play with and like make videos about. And I still might, but like only the ones that are like really fun. I don't know,
like sure, 6 birds.
Exactly.
We
I
each
need to watch more of that because I gotta be real with you. I'm not convinced.
We should each do an episode with the 6 bird team. That would be very funny. Okay,
or
the
so
6 bird mirror match.
6 bird mirror match.
You know, if enough people play it, you know, it might get out there enough that it could happen.
I am waiting to run into it on ladder.
Checking the records, it has actually only been 2 weeks since the 3 of us were on a podcast together. It just feels like forever. Yeah,
that's how much has been going on in our lives, I think.
Also true. So true. What's new with Sheldon? How's Sheldon's life?
Pretty good. Just busy. School, learning to be a programmer and have no idea how, but I guess I'm doing it right. And
if it's any consolation, and I think Rowan can agree, even once you know what you're doing, you still don't know what you're doing.
You just get a piece of paper that says you know what you're doing.
Yeah, all I know is like, you know, I put stuff in and then the console, it spits out what I wanted it to. So I guess.
Brute force method. I just slam my face against the keyboard until the right thing comes out on the computer.
Yep. And if it doesn't, throw it into ChatGPT and it'll let you know what you did wrong.
That's
maybe, or it'll tell you something totally wrong. Yeah, it's like it's a coin flip.
Yeah, I've ran into that too. It's like this should work. I'm like, no, that's never going to work.
So I've used ChatGPT for coding, and the best thing about it is when that happens, you can be like, no, you're doing this wrong, and then it's like, oh, silly me, I am doing that wrong, and then it'll maybe do it right.
Or it'll just change 2 values, and you're like, no, that's not the issue here.
That's also fair. So.
I also got a kitten.
You got a kitten. You sent pictures of the kitten.
Yes. Yeah, I got a little tortoiseshell kitten.
Is that another like a rescued off the street or shelter? Or
no, she was at the pet store. Like we stopped by and they had like the adoption thing going on. You know how they have the adoption people and all like hawking their kitties at you. So, and the wife and kids saw that one, they wanted it, so you know it came home with us.
Fair enough. Can't center that. Is tortoiseshell a flavor of cat?
Yes.
Yes. That's what our angry gremlin thing is also.
Hold on, I have to look at what tortoise.
It's kind of calico.
It's like the black and orange kind of mess.
Oh, tortoiseshell cat. Oh, okay. The ones that don't look that much like a tortoiseshell. Like maybe it looks closer to my brindle dogs than a tortoiseshell. I feel.
Yeah, I don't know why I got the name.
Okay, well, fair enough.
That's the name though. Her name is Winifred Sanderson. You know, like from Hocus Pocus.
You're joking, right?
No,
that's what ours is named.
Wait,
what?
Really?
Yeah, I did like a year ago.
I need to tell my wife this. Hold on, before I forget.
That's amazing.
Oh, we call her Winnie.
Yeah, that's what we call her too. We've been calling her Winnie.
Yeah, Winnie is the shorthand for that, of course. But what the heck?
Hopefully your Winnie's a little less aggressive than ours, but you know.
She's adjusting well so far. She didn't at first, but
that's not Winnie behind me. That's Simon. He's chiller. He's just gonna be there sometimes.
Oh, he might show up on the picture.
Well, yeah, we'll see if you clip him out or not, but
yeah, that's funny.
Oh, he's cute though. Just hanging out. Why are you talking about me?
Oh yeah, he's very self-aware.
Yeah, I couldn't have her in here. If I did, she would be walking across my keyboard. So
the picture you sent of her like demanding attention
yes.
in a Discord was great.
So we're not a competitive pet podcast, although we could be.
We probably could be if we really wanted to.
We kind of are.
Ooh, that's true, isn't it?
Just they're digital pets.
I mean, they're pets.
Competitive dogfighting podcast.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. Anyway, we've got some updates, right? So we have basically 2 weeks of updates. I didn't really, in last week's episode, I didn't really say any Pokemon update, which is I actually had meant to, and then just entirely didn't because it didn't come out of my mouth at the time. So we've got some fun things, and Rowan already spilled the beans on some of it. So how's Showdown treating y'all?
I literally would have sold a kidney for this. Like,
if you sold a kidney, that would be making more money than the Showdown team makes.
Yeah, I
ever.
know.
Yes.
I would obviously rather just pay money than lose a kidney, but I would have paid. I would have donated it to have best of 3 open sheet ladder. Like I was expecting them to give us the option to like best of 3 in a challenge that we like privately set up for them to have like a full ladder.
Sure.
Yeah. This. Oh my! I've spent so much time. Like the only problem is I can't like sneak in games at work anymore. It's like a whole set like takes a while and it's a little more mentally stressful. But I love it so much. Like I've been grinding that ladder. And
that has been my biggest roadblock of truly diving into that is the fact that it's longer, right? Like by definition, you have to play 2 to 3 games instead of just 1, and it's like. Oh,
and it's not just the time of 2 to 3 games. It's like you have to be really mentally there for all of it, and the gap between you're thinking about the next round and all that. It's a little hard to manage on your phone too, to be perfectly honest. Like if I'm playing on my computer, I can, and this is kind of cheating, is I can look back at the old games and be like, oh yeah, that speed interaction happened. That damage count happened, and I can use that in future games. And if I was smart, I'd have that in my memory. And if I was at a tournament, I could maybe write it down, but definitely can't just look back at the logs like I do when I play this now.
That'd be nice if you did have that available.
That would be a completely different game. If you can do that during actual tournaments, that'd be a completely different game.
I bet that the best people just have that in their memory already, so they basically are playing that game.
And you can write it down as the game goes. Yeah. So I guess if you were,
it's a skill to determine what things are worth writing down. But I agree.
Have y'all? A quick tangent, and I will not let us stay on this tangent for too long. Do you guys in tournaments write stuff down, and like, do you know what you want to write down? Like, do you have that skill?
I definitely did in in closed sheet rather. Like that one, it was like very obvious, like what stuff had to be written down. Like speed interactions for sure, but like the moves that they use is huge. Like I guess what mons they maxed and all that's even less so, right? Because max really sticks in my mind. I find myself forgetting who's Terra, but I do not forget if they've Dynamaxed or not in a game. But yeah, in close sheet, I think it's a little harder, and I've definitely gone whole tournaments without writing down a thing. But I think it is a really good habit, and if you can force yourself to do that and not like lose your focus on the game, you should. It's like speed tiers are obviously big, but then like just remembering which mons they like to Terra, like.
Yeah,
what they led last game and all that, I think is really good unless you just remember that off the top of your head.
That's one thing I've found. What I'll do, like it's usually more for game 1 than almost anything, is see if they have any tendencies, I guess.
Sure.
So like I'll almost write down what they did each turn. So okay, we faked out and protected, or whatever this turn. We tear it on this turn when I did this. So I like to try and just jot down some notes, something like that.
If you can determine if they're the kind of person to go for hard reads, or if you think they're going to do the safe play, I think that's really big. The other thing is that like if you know what they led last game and you can then say, okay, how did this game go? You can kind of make a determination like, are they going to lead the same thing again? Because if they lost terribly with it, the answer is probably no. And then you can start thinking, how would I lead with their team to counter what I did last game? And
having the team sheet helps.
Counter that.
Having the actual sheet in front of me helps with that too, so I can see their whole team list.
Yeah, it comes back to your memory a lot more if you have their team sheet.
Yeah. But like I said, I like to jot just a little bit of information down, just like, if I like going through my thought process, I was like, oh, they did this last time. What are they going to do that again? They can like, it's just kind of so you don't have to keep everything in your memory.
I think especially on offensive teams, it's really important to write down calcs because you want to know if you're going to get something into range. Like if you're a priority team, especially like whether you get them into range of one specific attack or not is make or break on if you win or lose the game. If you're playing bulky offense, you don't necessarily have to because you're probably just going to live another hit. And it's more about just chipping them down over time. But if you like, I have to get the kill this turn or I lose, then knowing like what you do into them is absolutely massive. And you don't get told spreads. You can't really memorize a lot of calcs unless they're guaranteed. So like,
and I'll always jot down too, like, especially like I said, that game one, like, okay, this did 40% to this, so I just know it's there. This was a no-co kind of thing. Because that way, you're still trying to fill out their EVs and stuff.
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing that I write down is I'll write down my leads and their leads, and what they have in the back, what I bring in the back, and who tears, which I think you mentioned as well. But besides that, I'm really bad about like only thinking to write down things that like super surprise me, which is not the best idea, because I feel like I don't write down enough sometimes. That's just me. I think like you said, it's an important skill that you get more used to as you do.
And I think you can't like. So I'm kind of like cheating myself out of that the way I play Showdown right now. But I think that now that we have this ladder, it's a really good opportunity to practice literally all those skills. Like you can just hold yourself to not scrolling back up the logs and seeing the percentages, but they make plugins for Showdown to disable all this stuff. And even built in, there is a hardcore mode, quote unquote, that doesn't disable everything that you get in the game, but it disables a lot.
Right.
You can't like mouse over stuff and see their speed brackets and all that. You have to just know it.
Yeah, I forget about that. I forget they have that, and I never use it.
That's one thing.
It's super useful depending on what kind of team you're playing. I found myself really like having to do that a lot with the team I was playing for the only Reg D tournament I got to play. Well, I guess I got to play two in the same place. But once you start playing Trick Room with not hard Trick Room, then you have to start knowing the speed interactions between stuff that is just generally slow. You're like, if I'm running Ursa Luna, I'm like, I'm a slow bear. I don't know, like that's it. I'm probably slower than everything except for other slow stuff. But other slow stuff and just how slow it is becomes really important when you're clicking Trick Room and trying to like switch the turn order and determine what's gonna start happening now. And that's a really good tool in Showdown that just suddenly disappears when you're there in real life and you're like, oh god, actually I don't know if I can do this.
I think the thing maybe I guess would be probably good practice for a lot of us that play on Showdown a lot is basically putting all the information you get off of Showdown in your notes.
Writing it down,
right as you're writing it down, like, because that helps a lot. Because I do that in Showdown all the time. I'm like, why was this? And I scroll back up.
Like what would if I asked you right now, what's faster between an Iron Hands and a Bruxish?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Iron Hands, but that's only because of stupid things. Now I have to look it up because you've asked. Unless you know, do you know?
Like, I'd say Bruxish personally.
And it depends on investment and all that, but this is exactly the kind of thing, right? It's like that's incredibly important because the Bruxish has Trick Room. I have Trick Room. I want to kill the Bruxish because it's stopping all my priority stuff, like, and it can wave crash my bear.
Bruxish. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Bruxish has it's definitely Bruxish is faster. Whoopsies.
Is it?
50 speed on Iron Hands versus 92 on Bruxish.
Yeah, 92 on Bruxish. Yeah.
I thought it was slower. But yeah, I mean, even investment wise, looking at a range of 87 to 158 for Bruxish, and Iron Hands 49 to 112, so they can obviously overlap.
That's also one thing I always use.
I was running an adamant Iron Hands, right? So if they go Brave Zero investment, maybe they're slower. I don't know off the top of my head. I definitely didn't. I didn't prepare the Bruxish matchup. I'll be real with you.
And I always try to run a little bit faster Iron Hands, so that way I win the fake out war. You know.
Sure. That's a good point.
Yeah. So I guess piggybacking off of that, as happy as I am about best of 3 ladder, there's not a ton to say on it. I guess like the only problem, and I think this is what the problem that people who are against the idea were bringing up, and it is real, is that we are splitting the player base now. We now have a best of 1 closed sheet optional ladder and a best of 3 open sheet mandatory ladder.
Yeah.
And the open sheet ladder has been, or the best of 3 ladder has been out for what, a week or 2 now, right?
Yeah, a week and a half.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks now, I guess, as we record. And number 1 rank in the ladder is in the 1500s still, which is kind of wild, like that.
But you're not going to get as many people in that though, just because
exactly. So you have a smaller player base, and people don't play as much. Right. So inevitably, like there's less ladder. There's less ladder inflation, which is okay a lot of the time. But now it's like I can play maybe 5-10 games and be on the leaderboard, which is kind of weird too. Like. Yeah. It kind of like
it's good.
What we consider good in the rankings is off. But yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, the point is to play games, and you shouldn't really care about your rankings.
Because I mean, but even then, though, you know, like the best of 1 ladder, like that only translates to the on cart ladder for us.
Right.
Exactly.
So you have a split anyway in what you play on in game at your home, and when you go to a tournament. So.
I think it's been really great for seeing what works and what doesn't. I have a couple buddies on Discord who always absolutely topped best of 1 ladder. Like they got in the top 10 frequently. And I think they're the kind of guys who are going to do really well at the GCs when those start up again. But it didn't translate to them when they went to best of 3 events. And even now they're saying like it's not translating for me even on this ladder. So I think it's really great that you can tell the difference, because I would desperately try to test my stuff in the best of 1 ladder, and I would try to force open sheets when I could.
And it's hard.
Regardless of your intentions, my friends actually enjoyed closed sheet. They enjoyed the best of 1 nature, and that's totally cool. It's a different game, and it's still very skill based. It's just not the one I wanted to play.
Right.
Like whether you are one of those people or if you were trying to do like I was doing, the fact of the matter is there's no way for you to know really if your stuff translates to best of 3 without playing best of 3s. And I didn't have the time to sign up for a bunch of limitless tours. They're always when I'm working, or if they're not, I'm like, I'm exhausted after a full day of working.
Yeah, I don't really feel
want to play for 6 hours or however long a limitless tour
because it's a commitment.
Right? Like,
even the online tours.
When I do get to play them, it's on a weekend where I happen to not have plans, and then I start playing at 11, and we're not done till like 5 or 6. My whole day is gone.
Yeah, your entire week, and it's your weekend. You know.
Yeah. Like, I guess I can do chores between rounds, but only kind of, because you've got to be like hawk-eyed on the Discord, otherwise you might miss the start of the next round. And that's assuming you get a couple quick rounds, and you might be the guy going to 3 games every time.
What we need on cart is a round robin like ladder tour, but best of 3 ladder tour.
On cart would be amazing, but it's not gonna.
That'd be wild.
That's. Bless you. You know that's not going to happen, right?
No,
absolutely not.
Absolutely.
It is a blessing we got it on Showdown.
That's why I want
hats off to the Showdown devs.
When I do something like
truly.
you know, like on cart, like you said, like the limit, like because there's such an investment. But if you just have like a ladder tour, like that's something you can pop in and out as you want. You know,
right? The kids like kind of Showdown.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There are those Showdown room tours, and the fact that we can have it
that's
as
easier
best
to
of
do.
3 would be fantastic as well. Yeah. Anyway, I think that is pretty much all there is to say about it, though. I think it's going to be really good for the scene. It's potentially like one of the biggest developments that we could have had in terms of developing people's talent and raising the level that comes to tournaments. And it's going to be scary too, because whatever level of like good practice you're getting out of it, know that other people are also getting really good practice out of it.
Not as much more, Yep.
Some more Justin Tangs might come out of
exactly. And Justin Tang did that. Michael Derbest did that, like all entirely off of their best of 1 practice. Like,
Because they were doing like I know Justin said he was doing best of 1 for like a year and a half or two before this, and then just decided to go to tournaments.
Like singles half the time as well, right? I think that just some of the game sense is like inherent in some people.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely is.
So the other cool thing about Showdown, is that you can save teams.
Oh yeah, yes. So this is less of a thing for me because I am like neurotic about organizing my file system of teams than backing them up to my desktop like every month. But for people who aren't insane, I think this is a really good thing that you can now back up your teams online.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Like, at the very least, it's convenient to be like, I want to save this, like these whatever teams, just so that I can have them on my phone.
The teams you want to save. It isn't just your whole catalog, which is good, or they would be overflowed. Like that would be probably a lot of data. I actually don't know the numbers.
I have so many junk teams that don't need to see the light of day anywhere else.
Granted, I think I've heard the number is like 200 teams. But
200 is the max you're allowed to save per person. Is that
it?
Like
that's
you can't do it all. It is all just a relatively small amount of text, so it's not that insane. But you have to consider how many people are probably playing on Showdown. I think the answer is a lot.
Yep.
And that's a lot of teams. So 200 is a lot of teams. You don't need
for a single person. Yeah, you can start clearing them out. Like it's fine.
Absolutely. But like, it's convenient to be like, oh, I developed this team on my desktop, and then I'm going to bring it to my phone.
Yeah, that's one of the most annoying things about Showdown is I got all this stuff on my phone and nothing's on my computer, and then I get a new phone or something, or clear my cookie or browse history or whatever, and then it just boom gone, and I'm like, well.
I made my own Discord server with one channel to myself that is just me pasting pokey pastes and notes in it, so I can get them between all my computers and
that's
phones
very
and
good.
Stuff.
I have I did mine through Google Drive.
There you go.
I was doing Google Keep, but then I went past the limit of a single Google Keep note. And then
you could delete some of the old ones if you wanted to.
Yeah, I know. And I just didn't at the time. I was also doing different team testing for me and Becca, 2 different types of teams and some old stuff. I should have cleared them out. I didn't. That's a different story. But no, I think it's convenient. It's really cool. I think the cool thing about this, and they made someone on Twitter made a post about it too. One of the devs was like, hey, we're doing more things. Like, we want to continue to upgrade this tool. Put out more features and whatnot. So I think that's really neat. It's cool that they're doing that. It's cool that they don't really make money off of this.
There are ads
like
on the
website
site,
ads,
but I don't know how much they actually make off of the ads.
It's enough to keep the lights on,
it's probably all goes to server stuff, right?
Yeah.
But enough server stuff, they can now store more stuff on their servers. Thank you, teams. So it's cool to see this that tool continuing to improve, I think. So.
Absolutely, yeah. So if we're done with Showdown, I think we did have a regional this weekend even.
We did.
Yeah.
Peoria.
So Peoria was actually pretty cool to watch. It's the first Reggie regional, unless I'm mistaken. At least the first one that I've seen.
First Reggie.
At the very least, it's the first one in the States. There might have been one internationally that I am not aware of.
That might be true.
Yeah, really cool to see. Spoiler, you get 5 seconds before I just say who won.
James Beck.
And it was James Beck, yeah. So who has apparently won 3 regionals before this one, but I had never seen it. I guess it must have been pre-Sword and Shield. Really cool to. Yeah, I mean, he's always been incredibly consistent. Right. Like he's
always top.
Top 4 at the last 2 Worlds, right? And has been cutting a bunch of regionals too. So it's really nice to see him like get that first place again. And the meta was like mostly as boring and balanced-y as I expected it to be, but there were a few outliers. Like, people are definitely making cool stuff work at the same time as all the balanced stuff.
Yeah. Shall we go through the top 8 teams? Whatever's interesting.
We also have
and even just trends, right?
They also have the top 12 at the bottom of Victory Road. They got the top 12 stats that they put up on the stream.
Oh.
Which the day 2 one to me is wild. One of the numbers anyway is insane to me.
What that? The fact that Landorus has now eclipsed Fluttermane,
61% in
top
day
usage.
2.
Landorus is really good, and so this is something really funny. So when Landorus got introduced into Sword and Shield, everyone rushed to play it like it played in Sun and Moon, right? Except Dynamax is a totally different beast, and giving Landorus max airstream was insane. Yes. But it meant that you could run it totally differently. You'd run like Life Orb Landorus, like
the Sword Stance,
even, right? Or Sword Stance, or like Sword Stance Lumberry Landorus, that kind of thing, right? But prior to that, in pre-Dynamax formats, you always ran it with an Assault Vest or a Choice Scarf. people tried Choice Scarf, Landorus, and Sword and Shield at the beginning
No.
a lot, and it was just bad. And now Choice Scarf is the only way to run your Landorus. Like, I've seen a couple of Clear Amulet ones, but it's 90% Choice Scarfs, and it's so good, especially with Terra Blast. Like, it's pretty much taken over like Dragonite's role as the Terra Flying Terra Blast spammer, and God, that thing's good. And it U-turns so strong, like base 145 attack, you make it adamant and it can still outspeed a Dragapult with that scarf. Like, it's really strong. It is.
I didn't realize I had not realized it could still outspeed Dragapult.
Still,
you go 91. Max speed.
Yeah.
So max speed with an adamant nature just barely beats Pulse by 1 point if you have a Choice Scarf on it.
Oh, I see.
Which is really good. Now some of them are now going Jolly because you have to outspeed Urshifu, but with a Scarf, but you can't even guarantee that, so I personally wouldn't. But yeah,
if it's a Scarf Urshifu, you'll never outspeed
well, I mean,
it.
some people don't run the Urshifu. Some people run Adamant Urshifu, right, with the Scarf. So if you go Jolly Landorus, you can outspeed it, but you can't guarantee it. You can't see natures on the open sheet, so it's like it's a tough mind game to decide how you want to build that, because you do have to go Adamant to guarantee that you Oko a Flutter Mane with your Flying Terra Blast. So there's a bunch of stuff that goes into it. But yeah, and I mean, there's a ton of Hisuian Arcanine. Like, it was already starting to show its face in Reg C and D, but
day
like,
2, it popped up.
Even more, it popped up a lot here, and I find that again surprising. Like, I get why it's good, but Landorus is so good. Like, Landorus is by far the better Intimidator in my opinion.
Yeah. I am
Water Ogerpon being the top, which I'm not surprised by. I think it's such a good typing for
Water
what it does.
Ogerpon was top in day 2, but Fire was top Ogerpon form in day 1, which I think is really neat because you kind of see.
Which means that Water is better performing. I mean, there's a lot of people who brought Fire and lost.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, like the really big day 1 to day 2 jump, which I was playing with this myself, but it's cool to see it actually perform, is that King Gambit is back.
Yes.
Reg D made, at least in my mind, just put the nail in the coffin on King Gambit, and it was kind of cemented when, like, Luca, who got second in this tournament, I think he failed to make day 2 or like bombed early in day. I think he made day 2 but bombed early in day 2 with King Gambit at Worlds, and Reg D just made it so hard because Urshifu was on every team,
and you can't run it into Urshifu.
Yeah, so like a huge part of playing that Terra Dark Black Glasses King Gambit is that you set up sword stances with fake out, and then you protect and you pivot out and you get another fake out or a redirection on the field, and then you can start blasting things with your Oko everything power, right? But if you can't protect and the other thing has close combat, then like you're dead. I don't know. Like it doesn't even matter if you turn it into a 1 level weakness. It's still going to Oko you with like base 120, base 135 attack, like
through your protect,
But now Urshifu's less common, and B, you have that hard follow me support on Water Ogerpon, which is so big.
Yep.
Especially because if they're brave enough to click Surgery Strikes,
you can't click Surgery Strikes into that thing. You're like, it's Chi-Yu had a jump too.
Yeah, exactly. Chi-Yu is really big now. I think one of the biggest meta shifts I've also noticed in E is that we're seeing a lot of speed booster Flutter Mane, which was starting to see usage in D, but it's just really taking off in E now, and it pairs so well next to Chi-Yu, because what people will do is go to Specs Chi-Yu, timid max speed, and then 1 icy wind from booster Flutter means
you're
that you can just blow
outspeeding
up almost anything with your Chi-Yu unless they have a Scarf too. And even then, half the Scarf users are slower than Chi-Yu, so the icy wind from Flutter is like more than enough. And on top of that, the Beads of Ruin boost Flutter's power. So like my problem with running speed booster Flutter at Pittsburgh, I was running Fede's team that ran it next to max speed banded Dragonite. So you'd use the Icy Wind to get faster than things and then blast them, which is great, except A, you had to choose your target. Chi-Yu does not. It just clicks Heat Wave and melts them, regardless of which one chose to protect. And B, the Flutter was just weak. It's timid, and it doesn't have a boosting item. But now you have Chi-Yu as Beads of Ruin, and suddenly this timid Flutter Mane with no boosting item still does really respectable damage.
Which continues just to prove that Flutter U, Chi Main, whatever lead you want to call that, continues to be super oppressive. As we all knew it was going to.
Yeah, if you lead wrong, get to that, like it's just so much damage. I've been running Specs Chi for a while now too, and it's too good not just to throw on almost any team.
And It
And
suddenly has like a random
don't
support
even
aspect to it too, because it has snarl.
Yeah.
Spec, stab, beads of ruin, snarl off of that attack.
It does so much damage for a snarl.
For a snarl, yeah.
It's insane. Like I love just clicking that. It's like, okay, good luck. Like
I was gonna say the accuracy is painful, but if you can just like live with it, then it's so good.
If you can just press the hit button.
Exactly.
Because you can't lead special attackers into it and thinking you're gonna like it's just gonna snarl you down and then you can't do anything while taking, 20, 30, 40% off a snarl.
Mm-hmm. Plus whatever Flutter's doing next to it.
Yep.
And then I think the final like meta trend is so what I had heard from a lot of people is that Tornadus was falling off. Which kind of makes some amount of sense, right? Because like the issue with Tornadus is that people thought that okay, we finally have a Tailwind center that puts on offensive pressure, but at some point we kind of realized does it really? Because Bleakwind isn't that strong, and people are running bulkier and bulkier Torns where it's even weaker. And so like yes, you get the speed control, but your opponent's basically got 2-on-1 against you. And then they stall out the Tailwind or use priority or whatever, and it doesn't matter. But we had a Torn mirror in the finals, so clearly that logic was off.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, it's interesting because Torn, like you said, it plays as a support, right? It's not offensive,
but it's still quite strong.
It's still strong, and it still holds a place on teams. Like the teams that run it and run it well, like it's there for a reason, whether that be Tailwind or weather support or something. So seeing it sit at 28 and 22% for day 1 to 2, like it's not that shocking. I would be impressed when I see it fall off this top 12 list.
At the same time, it did fall off, right? It went from number 5 on day 1 to number 10 on day 2.
Yeah, it wasn't the best performing.
Yeah, because like the first 2 people in the tournament had it, but then if you look further down, number 6 had it, and then you have to go down quite a ways to find another one.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
So it might just be a high skill cap mon also, which I think is, and I would have an easy time believing that, to be honest.
And I think people are just leaning more towards Trick Room at the start of this form. Because normally you would think Tornadus is just auto include for the start of a format. Just I'm going to set Tailwind and I'm going to go. But
I think it kind of was, but we've been playing a Tornadus format since a month before Worlds.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, but like I said though, with the DLC and all, it's like people I think have actually opted for Trick Room as their speed control out the gate. Like that, because you see a lot of Trick Room into this.
You want to
tournament.
I think we should talk about the elephant in the room, which is the coolest team in the tournament, honestly, which is Justin Knox, 45 mice. Really cool guy and really strong player. This team had Clefairy, Ursaluna Bloodmoon, Okidogi, Farigiraf, Urshifu, and Fire Ogerpon. Super cool to see Clef Farigiraf. He would just lead those 2 and set up Nasty Plot or Trick Room.
Which is wild. He's running Nasty Plot Farigiraf.
Yeah. And then the Ursaluna Bloodmoon is just like I don't know why
it does so much damage.
Yeah, it doesn't do as much as the other Ursaluna, but it still does a lot. And
it's
then
close to it. Like that Blood Moon attack is devastating.
It's very strong. It's more just like compared to Guts Stab Facade is
sure,
but there's no
higher stat.
There's no setup involved with that move though.
Yeah, you don't have to protect a turn. Although if we're talking about setup for it, the other really cool Blood Moon team was in 8th place from Dewablafet. Also like shout out for the Showdown Dev stuff. So this was a weakness policy Blood Moon with a Brick Break Dustclops.
Oh.
And it was Terra Normal on top of that. Those hyper voices just melted everything. Like,
that was +2 hyper voice from a base 145, isn't it? Base 145, I think.
Double
Special
stab
attack.
with Terra Normal.
I don't know what I know Blood Moon has a higher BST
135
than regular Ursa,
base
but it
135
has worse distribution.
Yeah, it's a base 135 special attack though.
Yeah, that's a pretty high special attack.
Yeah. To get a +2 on top of.
Yeah, and then Terra on top of that and stab.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw one team out there. Where is this team here that caught my eye when I was scrolling down through the list. There it is at number 38. Mason Cutler is beautiful.
That's very specific.
Doesn't have enough birds for you.
No, but it has something else that's just does
so
not
I think
belong.
This might be very Wolfie inspired.
This a Titan.
Yes, so this is literally Wolfie's team, but with a Titan over the Snorlax. Both of them running belly drum, and it's really cool because you get the Sinistra, which is with its hospitality, the Clefairy with Friend Guard and Heal Pulse, and then Kama-O and a belly drum user as your setups, and then you have a Fake Out plus an Intimidate. I think Wolfie might have used Iron Hands instead of Rillaboom here, but it's the same concept, right? You can just guarantee that you get your move set up, and then you keep healing and you keep blasting, and like, you know, Landorus and Rillaboom are also just like pretty strong pieces to put on pressure in the meantime as well. Like, you can't just ignore them while you zero in on the setup user. So it's pretty strong.
This is a pretty fun looking team, especially with the Kamau's nickname of Kamu'u. Kamu'u?
Kamu'u.
That's very good. Anyway.
That's just one thing that caught my eye when I was scrolling down. It's like, you know, I expect all this, and then there's just a Titan.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, to be fair.
Titan with no eye. I would expect it with like snow, you know, to do the slush rush or whatever its ability is.
No, but this one's sitting there with thick fat. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it was actually kind of cool to see. Like, Wolfie also ran thick fat on the
Snorlax
instead of Gluttony.
Which makes sense though. With there's a lot of big fire moves.
There is.
Yeah, like it's really more for the fire. There's not a ton of ice coverage in the metagame. Like Bundle,
but a Chi-Yu, you don't want to get smacked by a Chi-Yu.
Exactly. And when you think about it, like the only difference is that either I'm going to get 8% more recovery. It's the difference between 25 and 33, whether you're going to use a Figgy or a Citrus Berry, versus 2 whole resistances. Like, I'll lose that 8%. Especially,
I guess if you're expecting a lot of,
you're going to heal from Grassy Terrain and Hospitality and Heal Pulse, I will give up that 8% any day.
There's a lot of healing on that team, so yeah.
And you got the Fire Ogerpon too. I guess, you know, probably prepping for it. It's probably what it's aimed at.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with a Water Terra type as well.
Although that is one of the craziest things about Ogerpon is like having Fire, Water, and Water Grass as on an offensive mon is really scary. That's like there's that's both cases. That's 2/3 of like the definitive core in the game, right?
Yep.
So you pin so many mons, and it's also caused the rise of Terra Dragon on a lot of stuff.
Seen a lot of Terra Dragons.
We used to see Terra Water as the definitive,
like Golden Go.
Default Terra type, especially for Golden Go. Now Terra Dragon, Golden Go is the one to go to. Otherwise, you just get melted by Ogerpon. Like,
which is just crazy to me because like there's still Fluttermane sitting out there all over the place. So like that's terrifying. Like
it's dangerous.
I would stick to my water. I think personally.
But your natural typing on Golden Go resists the fairy.
Yeah.
So
except for Shadow Ball.
Yeah, exactly. So you were playing a very dangerous game.
A lot of angles you got to prep for.
You got to just take your coin flip, I guess, and hopefully you get the matchup gods right.
That's why you just do Choice Scarf, Terra Steel, Make It Rain. Done. You're gonna just blow it up.
Yep.
No, but like when I was at the mid-season showdown a couple weeks ago, I was running Fire Ogerpon and Waltershifu, and I'm like, I got a whole core and 2 Pokemon. It's great.
Yep. And you're probably faster than a lot of stuff, and you just literally blast them all down. You can like double one slot, and it's like, I don't care if you Terra, like unless you're Dragon, I'm going to kill whatever's sitting here.
Bonk Stick on that Ogerpon is so good. Just love it. No, that was super fun to play. Speaking of that core.
Yeah, you played an MSS, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, played an MSS here in Orlando. Got 18th. Sad.
Single tier.
I wanted those 5 CP so bad. No, it was more fun. It was fun to go out and see people and play in person and whatever. And really, like, I had not played seriously since NAIC, so doing as well as I did, I'm pretty content with that. Like my overall record was 4-2. Right, so.
Yeah, I think a lot of the, like, with the power level just going up, I think a lot of people are gonna like start to feel better with their experience in Sword and Shield. Like the only way people played non-Dynamax was Series 10 when we had restricteds and Urshifu and all that. And like, this feels a lot more like that than any previous Scarlet and Violet format has.
Sure, yeah. But I don't know. It's Reg E has been fun so far. Anything else from Peoria that seems worth noting?
No, I mean
Cramorant.
I don't think there's any Cramorant. The other interesting thing though is that there was a very small regional, relatively speaking, 448 players, so they didn't hit the kicker for top 256 CP, I think. So that's the only thing I'd say is that like I think the very top of the format of the event is probably representative of what we can expect the meta to look like.
Yes.
But below the very top, it's interesting. I don't know whether that's like actually the highest level or if it's just like there were not that many people, you know.
Yeah, I'm curious, right? We have it is the first major event in this new series. People obviously have been testing stuff out for a long time. You have a relatively small, 448 is still a big tournament, right? But relatively small for what we saw in that last year. Player pool here. So you're going to see, you probably see a lot more interesting things like, if I scroll down to 36th place, Andy Anderson running Rock Ogerpon, Breloom, Slowbro, and Salamence.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, that was another team I saw. Yeah, that's an awesome looking team.
Hats off to anyone who can make Slowbro and Salamence and Breloom and Rock Ogerpon all work at this high level, right? But
yeah, that's really cool. Like they did obviously very well. Walked away with 50 CP with those three Pokemon, Breloom, Slowbro, and Salamence. Like my goodness. So you're gonna see some interesting things like that for sure, and then some.
I feel
things
like we
that
get those at
standard.
every regional anyway, though. Like you get some
the
that
standouts.
Yeah, you're like when you scroll down.
They usually don't make top. They usually don't make 36th place though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get top 50 with that is pretty impressive.
I think in this day and age though in Pokemon, like the difference you get from the very top towards getting back towards the middle, that's kind of shrunk. I feel like I don't think I don't think it's as top heavy as things used to be. Like this, because like a lot of these regionals now, like we saw it before, is like you're getting world's level competition at your average regional now, and you got players coming out of the woodwork that it's their second, third event maybe, and they're
crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
They're killing it. And so it almost just feels like it's hard to even separate the pack at this point. It's like if you cut a regional, do whatever, like you still had to do something.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess, but like I said, I still think you get some wild stuff in a lot of other regionals that you're just scrolling down. It's like, that doesn't belong here. But you got points with it, so
it did something.
Yeah.
Did something right. Yeah, I think that's probably the most
for Peoria,
interesting stuff we saw in Peoria.
I'm shocked to discover that Peoria is an actual real place that people went to. But
that's
as it turns out, it was real all along.
How they held a Pokemon tournament at a place called Peo. I don't know. Like
Peoria?
It was expensive. Like I was looking at
I'm sure
it would
because
have cost me just as much to go there as it's costing me to go to Toronto.
Well, so like if you were flying there, I can't imagine. You probably have to fly into some little.
They have an airport. You have to get connections and stuff.
Exactly, it's going to be where you're taking someone's like personal plane into the airport because it's not big enough for actual jet. So you're having to take like a Cessna in there.
I don't know if it's quite that bad, but
I was told that like a Texas Roadhouse was like the nicest restaurant you could expect to find. Like
they probably just got a Taco Bell and they're really proud of it.
No, I agree though. It was expensive. Like I was looking at Peoria too, and it was expensive to get there. And I was like, I'll skip this one. So
small airports are always way more expensive to fly into than your international airport.
There's just less flights going into
exactly.
it.
Yeah, you don't get the flights.
It's not a big hub.
Yeah. In any case, I'm really looking forward to Toronto. Canada's going to be fun.
I have big FOMO for Toronto. I'm so sad.
Yes.
You could just not go to your friend's wedding.
No, it's my wife's birthday.
It's your wife's birthday, right? Yeah, I mean,
you could just not go to your wife's birthday.
I think I might die. So
like, consider your
it's like her birthday.
Here.
She wakes up and you're not there.
I skipped Peoria for a wedding also.
Fair. So either way, that'll be a fun weekend. For all y'all in Toronto and
then I'll be in Atlanta that weekend for a concert.
Yeah, well,
of course.
While you're not there,
Cap will be in my city while I am in Canada.
While you're out of country, not even just out of state, out of country.
Technically, and yet it is a lot closer than like some of the regionals I've been to. So
sure, Mr. San Diego. But yeah, that's Peoria. Let's put a cap on Peoria. What else?
Going for a minute. You want to talk about other games?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's hit on other games because I know what I want to talk about for that. But absolutely, is it Baldur's Gate?
I was playing a lot of Baldur's Gate on my day off today. It's been fun.
Oh, you had today off. That's right. Yeah, let's do other video games. By other video games, I mean one, which is Baldur's Gate. Rowan, tell me about Baldur's Gate because you just got to it, right?
I just hit Act 2, so I've been playing.
You've been playing. Okay.
Yeah. I just hit Act 2. So I started off, I'll admit, I've never played a tiefling before. It always felt too edgelordy for me. And then I was like, you know what, let's try it. It's cool. Like I just liked how they looked. Their eyes look really cool in the graphics and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna build a tiefling.
The black eyes.
I'm gonna be like devilly necromancer wizard and like kind of edgelordy and kind of run with that.
Oh, so you leaned hard into edgelord.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like the more I played, like okay, so again, you get 5 seconds to dip out if you don't want Act 1 spoilers for Baldur's Gate 3.
2
like minor ones, but still. So there's a whole like quest line about saving like a tieflings like seeking refuge in another like people's settlement and like getting
to be fair, you find that out real fast. Like that's not
this is like pretty early on. Yeah, like
this is also thing. Like the beta stuff too. Like you play
this has been out for 3 years. Yes.
Yeah. So I slowly was like I guess I should save the people who are my people, and then eventually I just like turned into like borderline lawful good at this point. Like there's nothing particularly edgy about tieflings. None of them are really devil worshippers. They're just kind of chill bros who look really evil.
Well, they really
they didn't really have a choice.
Well, that's
I don't know.
true.
You could have like thrown in with some devil somewhere and been like, hey, let me sell my soul real quick for some infernal army.
Well, to be fair, they leaned into the like tieflings aren't devils thing really hard with Baldur's Gate because they're like, hey, this whole like colony of tieflings you're working with are all wimps, right? They're all
they suck. They suck so bad.
Yeah,
but I've
and they make a point of it.
Yeah. So and then like at first I was like, okay, you're supposed to romance someone in this. I don't really like any of these characters all that much. And they've only given me 1 healer, so I guess I'm going to choose Shadowheart. And she's really annoying, actually. But like, I can't. She clearly worships some kind of like evil shadow god, and I need my party healer to stay with me. So
have you not like figured out who she worships and all that fun stuff?
I didn't know anything about there's the D&D pantheon is nutty large. Like there's too many of these things. Yeah. I don't know all the gods. So it's like she's also kind of an edgy cleric, but she casts healing spells, and that's really important. So I can't have her betraying the party. That is the person I've chosen to romance, and it's just kind of got like now my character is just lawful good, and it's annoying. I did let her kill the only NPC that I've truly hated enough to allow to die, who was in my party. Lae'zel. I just let her stab Lae'zel. Like,
nice. You did that with that scene?
Yeah. Like,
that's interesting.
Lae'zel threatened her to a duel in the morning, and she was like, "I'm just gonna stab you while you sleep." And I was like, you know what? That's fair. She was just gonna kill you in the morning. Like, this isn't like out of the blue or anything. And I like the person who heals a lot better than the person who like stabs my self-esteem every other.
Or who talks down to you and misses her sword swings.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're useless and you're mean. All right.
That's so funny. So have you gotten to the part in Act 2 that's like all about Lae'zel?
No. Well, that probably won't be. Not for me.
Yeah, you're gonna. I want to know how that goes for you then, because so I in my playthrough am not in Act 2 yet. I am like midway.
So how do you know about Act 2?
In the way of Act 1. Becca has overtaken me.
And
has been playing Baldur's. She's currently playing Baldur's Gate on the PS5 right now as we record. And she has been like going hard in the paint with this game. Like I told her, like, this is the type of game you're gonna love. She's like, oh no. And I'm like, you're gonna love it. No. I bought it for PS5. Here's the controller. Play this dang game. And she's like, okay. Now she's like 50 hours into the game and is like, oh, like she just started Act 2 yesterday. A very similar spot, but like she got to the point of maybe 2 days ago. She got to the point of this like big story thing that's like kind of all about like Zell. Like you find the Githyanki Kush thing like that, that she was looking for. Oh, okay.
Because it's like you're gonna pull the worm out of me, but clearly the worm is a game mechanic. I have no desire to get the worm pulled out of me.
I like the worm.
There's so many like
chill.
There's so many weird like things that like story path branches that go on about like just that little bit, which is like to the game's credit and to the writers for this game credit, like it's baffling how much is there.
Definitely considering other playthroughs already. I'm like, I didn't do this whole thing.
Me too. I'm 20 hours in.
I started my second playthrough because I felt bad after what I did, starting as the dark urge. And the first thing I did was cut off what's his
Gale's hand.
Yeah, I cut off his hand. And I was like, no, I didn't mean to do that.
I really feel like
I'm just letting Gale die. Also, I'm a wizard. I don't need him.
Oh, you're letting his thing
I
happen?
haven't fed him anything.
But I think
is he going to blow up on you?
Yeah, he's like a bomb. He's a bomb.
Is he a bomb?
I'm gonna send him away then.
You can use that to your advantage, I think, if you feed him some things, and then I think there's story things. You're like, hey, just walk into the enemy camp for me, please.
He hasn't done anything. He just looks really tired all the time.
Yeah, well, he's also an old man. There's also a really so like you said, like you have to romance. You don't have to. You have the option to romance the character and all this fun stuff. And then everyone knows that in the first, like the 1.0 release of this game, that during that patch before it was patched out, whatever, everyone was super horny for their main character.
Just their affection meters started way too high.
Yeah, it's what it was. And but like the romance scene with Gale, like the first like romance scene with Gale, if you do stuff with him, like feed him items, whatever. It's, I don't want to say weird, but it's kind of weird. It's all like let's do
magic or something.
Like, yeah. It's like let's do magic together. It's like and then the narrator comes on. It's like the weave that you have have summoned with your magic. It's like the warm embrace. The moment feels close and intimate. And then you have like because they're still game characters and models. You have Gale like turn to you with a weird face, and it's not like it's weird.
Like, the graphics are very good, but it is still very apparent that they don't have like pre-rendered cutscenes. That it really is that just them posing the models.
It's not pre-rendered. It's not motion cap, right? Like which like again,
there's an obscene amount of content. It would be crazy to expect it.
It'd be way too expensive, let alone like feasible to do that. So like again, props to them. It's still amazing. And I was talking back the other night, like this game is really pretty. I'm playing it on the Steam Deck, and it's not pretty on the Steam Deck. When I play on my PC or like watching her play on the PlayStation, it's a pretty game.
It really is.
It looks good. Okay, here's my question for y'all. Do you save scum, and if so, how much?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think about save scumming after I get to a point where I should have save scummed.
That's true. I do that too.
Like
I save with the intention of save scumming incredibly often, and then the bad thing happens. I'm just like, let's see how we're going, and usually it's fine.
I am closer to what you just said than like I save scum everything to get the perfect outcome. Like I will use inspiration, right? I will use to reroll. I will like if it's something that like
you get inspiration so often too. Like you might as well.
I was doing something the other day and like I misclicked a dialogue option. Okay, I'm gonna save scum that. Like I don't feel bad about that. That's not what I wanted to do.
And if I'm about to wipe, like if for example, if I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do this thing, I was like, you have aggroed every enemy in a city. Some of them are higher level than you, and there's way more of them than you. And I'm like, you know what? Back. Like,
yes.
I didn't want to do that.
I did. I did.
That happened to me in the very first on this new playthrough I started. There's like that when you go to the first temple or whatever it is right there. There's there's like something hanging over, and they're like, hey, there's a crack here, and you can shoot it, and it falls and breaks. Well, my whole party was standing underneath that crate or whatever, and they all died except for like 2 people, and they fell in a hole, and then I'm just soft locked out of the game.
I will admit, like, basically all of those scenarios when I reload. So I don't know, does the game have a game over state? Like,
no,
or does
it just reloads. Yeah, once you
it just reloads to a save anyway.
The last save, yeah, last save.
Then
oh no, but my last save is when that fell and killed my whole party.
Built-in save.
So I had to go past that save.
Oh no! Did it auto save you? Like,
yeah, it auto saved me when it killed my whole party.
The auto save feature is nice for things like this. To be fair.
Well, it adds new saves on top, right? Like, but it means that you can't do it afterwards. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it's like it was one of those situations where I was like, this is absolutely terrible. It was a battle. I had no, like, the couple people that lived had like half their health left. I was like, I
really love that they just let you do that though.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You would like to make an enemy of the entire like army in front of you? Yeah. Sure. Let's see how that plays out.
And it teaches you a lesson too, like in games like this too. You had to be aware, like even when you're triggering something in the environment, it affects you too. Like it doesn't. Yeah. It's not just you're the hero, so you kind of avoid the fall. No, you're getting specked by this crate that's falling 20 feet onto your head. Like,
right. The one time I save scummed quite badly, and I'll own up to this. There is a specific quest line you can do in the Goblin Camp, which can amount to 3 really like hard battles, which you probably know what I'm talking about. I accidentally, well, no, that's not true. I purposely triggered one of them, thinking like, oh, let's see how this plays out. Let's find out. It went quite bad, and I'm like, reload 3 saves back. I'm just gonna do that later. Like, so I purposely went further back than even that just to see.
Yeah, let's just not.
Yeah, I'm like, never mind. I'm gonna go down a different path of the story right now. I'll come back to that later.
Yeah,
I think it's acceptable if you're just like skipping entire storylines. Like, I did that for the again, spoiler alert. Sorry. The hag, the Auntie
Ethel. Yes.
Yeah, it was like I was way too low level for that nonsense. Like,
so
when I stumbled into that swamp, I was like, we will come back to this.
Yep.
So that was basically the fight that I was talking about was the Drow goblin leader. So
did you just aggro her in the temple?
Well, I spoke with her, and then because I saved Saza from the grove. Walked with her to the camp, walked with her through the camp, went straight to whatever her name was, the drow lady, and then had a conversation. And I'm like, oh, I got options. I could fight her now, or like say that I'll help her at the grove, or whatever. Like, there's so many different things you can do. Which, like, you can just flat out say I'll help at the grove and then kill her later.
Which is what I did.
Which might be the way that I do it. And I said, no, I'm gonna stab you now, like, to your face. I'm gonna say, I want to attack you. So I did. And then I didn't realize how many goblins were gonna come
in that temple. Yeah.
Well, because
there were like scrying eyes all over too, and they're just like looking for
you.
The
first thing I did was kill the scrying eye, because that was in combat. So I was like, okay, I'm safe. But then a goblin, I didn't see a war drum, and a goblin went straight to the war drum. I was like, dang it, I missed that. So then more goblins came. And she was high level and I was low level. Like, it was just not good. I think she was like level 5, I was level 3. I'm like, this is not going to end well for me. And it didn't. So then I save scummed back to the conversation, said, oh, I'll come back to you later. And then I'm like, all right, Asterion, coat your blade with poison and sneak up with her and stab her. So go into like turn-based mode instead of free time mode, and then have Asterion hide. And then, like,
I need to use Asterion for stealth stuff. I've just been going full battle party.
I mean, that's also perfectly fine, I think, because what happened was I like hid, walked to like keeping out of cones, right? And then like coat blade with poison, and then I'm like, all right, sneak attack. Because if I can take out like a third or a half her health in one shot, I have a better chance, and I know what the war drum is.
Miss.
So I stab her. She like just. now time to attack. Like, she just looks at him, and I'm like, no, that's not what Sneaky does.
You're supposed to die.
You're supposed to be stabbed, not just turn and look at me.
So I will say, prepare yourself. Have you seen the big battle at the Grove when Becca played it, or have you played it yet already? You said you haven't done this yet.
No, so she did not do. So So I after that failed, then I save scummed out of that completely and did a different. Like, I just went off to a different thing before going to Goblin Camp.
Okay. Have you seen the battle at the Goblin Camp?
No, because Becca did it differently as well.
Did she manage to assassinate her early?
You don't have to do the Goblin Camp battle,
or not the Goblin Camp, rather the battle of
or
the Grove.
At the Grove, yeah.
It is hard, and I later realized you're supposed to use the terrain a lot more than I did. I just had a really hard battle instead.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna probably go the path of just clear out the Goblin Camp. Just to start picking them off.
Also didn't realize that if you do the Grove battle and then you go back to the Goblin Camp, they will not be neutral to you anymore.
Oh yeah. The way Becca did it is she killed everything in the castle, and then fast travel to the Grove, and the Grove was like, "Yay, you did it!" And she's like, "Cool. What if I fast travel back to the Goblin Camp? This is a fast travel point in the outside part of the camp." And as soon as she loaded in, it was roll for initiative.
Yeah.
We're like, "Oh, never mind." Yeah, there's a lot of things there.
I was like, "Wait a second, I'm surrounded."
Yeah, it's quite bad. How for you, Sheldon? I thought you weren't playing the game yet.
No, I have been a little bit.
I just can't keep track of anything.
I know.
All right.
No, I'm not too far into it. I'm still in Act 1, little ways.
Okay. So we're probably closer where we are together, whatever.
Yeah.
What are you playing? We have Edgelord.
You took a preset, right?
No, the first I started and then I cut the dude's hand off and I said, nope, I don't like this. So I went with a custom.
Okay. Yeah.
But right now I'm playing a monk.
Ooh, okay.
I wanted to punch things in the face. So
yes.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really thinking about I think my next character playthrough is going to be like actual evil though. It's like all of the cases where you can just sign
do the dark urge. Just do the dark urge. Yeah. Just do the dark urge
so
for your
tempting.
Next one. It was kind of fun though, just some of the dialogue and stuff because it is different with the dark urge.
Right.
Like I said, like when just the first
is that
thing
specifically you get the different dialogue because you chose the preset character, or just characters that with certain traits get those dialogue options?
Yeah, the dark urge is like an origin character, but you can still custom make it.
It's a custom origin character, so you get the custom story beats, you know.
Yeah. Okay, but you get to choose how you look.
But you get your look, your class, all that. You get to choose. So it's a cool like, you know. But yeah, you're full evil. Like all you can think about is murder. Murder makes you happy. Like
very chaotic. So
yeah. What's your class?
I'm playing a draconic bloodline sorcerer.
That's strong.
Half elf drow. Yeah, I went weird with it.
That is a power gamer move,
right?
I didn't do it entirely on purpose for power gaming. I was like, what if I click this and this and this?
You know, it's us sitting here playing a level 1 campaign, and you got the guys showing up.
Yes,
full meta
min maxer. But now I'm at the point of like, if I do want to go and like be a bad power gamer. Which again,
you can just respec that.
That's
dude from really early
100 gold. Nothing.
It's a lot at the beginning, but once you actually are high enough that you'd even want to respec, it's dirt. So always, I'm definitely going to rebuild my whole party. I think I'm sticking to Will, Shadowheart, and Karnak
Karlach.
Yeah, the tiefling devil barbarian. She's awesome.
Yes.
Like. Murders everything already. If I can like power game spec her out, that'll be sick.
Yes, very good. Which what path for barbarian did you take her down?
Specialization? I haven't played a barbarian in 5e, so I don't even remember. It was just like the hard like damage with a great axe route. Like,
okay, so the classic like berserker barbarian, I think.
Yeah, berserker. That was it. Yeah, she frenzies and then attacks like 3 times per round. It's nuts.
I might switch to that because I was like, oh, I'm going to go with the animal one because that just seems fun and thematic.
It doesn't mesh well with her because she has this like spell like once per rest that is like a burning sword that burns them, and she can't use it while she's frenzied, so it doesn't super synergize amazingly.
Okay.
But you kind of have 2 options. Like either you do that the first
turn,
get a little
something on the side
over time, and then you frenzy and start blasting.
Right. I'm rolling with right now Will, Karlach, and Asterion.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you don't have a healer.
I'm the healer because I am thinking that I might multi-class Bard for healing. And then
I was
also
close to going Bard as my class too.
Bard's very fun.
Charisma's great. I use Will to talk to everybody because of the charisma on there.
It's like I can do Bard or just punch people in the face. Like
power game move was going to be Sorcerer and Warlock.
Maybe I'll do Bard.
But that is the build. Yeah, because you can get extra damage onto your Eldritch Blast. Yeah.
I just need a multi-class to Bard. Have a Monk Bard.
Monk Bard is interesting. I'm probably going to do Bard Sorcerer. Keep Will as an Eldritch Blast cannon, basically. And then the other two. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I myself, like, I just got Animate Dead, and it's okay to start. Like, you got to get higher level to be like a real Necromancer.
Yeah.
So I've just been a magic missile bot. I found an item that adds an extra dart per missile, and then
that's really good.
And then you get extra damage per missile, and then you elevate it to level 3, and you can't miss, and so you're just like a railgun.
Yeah, it's very fair.
Have you seen the exploit to speedrun the game?
No, I'm purposely avoiding every spoiler that I can.
There's a fun exploit to the game. It's a way, I guess, how they coded the map, like the parameters of the map and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it all basically the way you do it in like short form is you have to kill Shadowheart. So you load into a map, like into an act, you kill Shadowheart and you put her in a box. And
I've heard this.
And basically there's a way to fling the box outside the map. And so when you do and open the box, it loads the next act.
Oh, because it has one of your party in it.
But it has to be Shadowheart because I guess her quest line is like essential.
Okay.
So it will not kill Shadowheart off or something.
Interesting.
So wait, you do this while you're still on the alien ship or something, or like early on?
No. Beyond, like, once you're like playing a regular main game.
Oh, okay.
So where do you throw the body box?
There's a way to throw it off the map.
Oh, okay. And then you just like end up at the end of the game when you do that.
Yeah. You just throw her dead. You just throw her dead body in a box, and then you get in the next act, and she's fine and alive.
There's also, I did see an exploit that you can use to complete Will's quest without actually killing Karlach. Which is interesting. I figure you've had that dialogue thing. But involves,
you see what happens to Will when you save Karlach.
Yeah. But that happens, or that you can prevent that from happening, get the reward for killing Karlach, and also have Karlach in your party. Which is very strange.
It's definitely a buggy game, but like you can excuse it.
You have
so much content, and it's
there has to be
done.
some bugs that got
so much variance in the game,
and they're generally not game breaking bugs. It's like this random side quest doesn't work. I'm like, okay, I'll play it another time. There's still just so much game.
And I'll be real.
Never break the main quest.
If you sit there and just randomly kill Shadowheart, throw her in a box, throw her off the map.
And you can reload to like so many different points. It's auto saving all the time, and you can reload to any of those points. It's like, who cares if something blows up a little bit? This is like the example of like a game with so much love and care. Like this is like what I want every AAA release to be.
Well, it's like, but also it feels
whatever it ends up being like.
Yep.
It feels like D&D. Like D&D as a game, it actually captures the feel of it.
It's truly the closest thing to virtual D&D I've ever experienced. And
like closer than like they took what they did with Divinity and improved upon it.
Yeah, and
brought it into the D&D universe.
Yep, very very well done.
Because it's all the same stuff. Like I feel like they had the same mechanics, so all the mechanics are the same. I feel like to a point, as far as
I
can do this with the terrain. I can do whatever I want to the terrain if I can think of it and see it or whatever. Like you can probably do it.
I'm missing some of my house rules. My DMs generally will let me stuff my undead zombies into a bag of holding because they don't need air, so they should be able to survive in there as far as I'm concerned. And then I use them as little Pokeballs. I attach them to a string like a yo-yo, and I toss out the bag of holding while it's open, and the zombie walks out. And all my zombies disappear when I long rest in this game, so 1 out of 10 do not recommend.
Can't you put bodies in a box and carry it with you?
You can,
with Shadowheart.
but then you still have to burn the spell slot. I want to like slowly muster an army over the course of weeks.
The only bad thing too is this
incredibly game breaking. I understand why.
Yeah.
Incredibly game breaking.
The only problem too is this is a low level campaign too. So I mean, there's
yeah.
Fair.
You know, it's a fairly low level. It's not, you know, you're not hitting level 20.
Yeah.
No.
In this
until the expansions come out, which they will.
Well, yeah. We'll
what's the level cap? Is it 10 or
no,
12?
It's 12. I think
12 or 13. Like yeah, one of those. I remember there's something like draconic sorcerers in 5e. I think level 14 get the ability to actually just grow wings and fly, and you can't do that in this game. And I was very sad.
It's coming
when I found that out. So,
but
all right.
We've been hitting this for an hour and 10.
I think that's an episode. That's an episode.
I can see like the life fading from Harrison's eyes here too.
We got I'm super tired. You
should have had some night coffee.
I should have had some night coffee like you. I'm actually just water tonight. Idea. No fun drinks.
There was a lot of rum in mine, so it's been a good evening.
It's fair. And we got to talk about Baldur's Gate, so it's a very good evening. But we're going to call it here. So, thank you to RobKTA for the use of our theme song, Goldenrod Game Corner, off the Ultraball album. I have been Harrison. You can find me online at row_ixon at all the places. I'm not going to say I'm going to do content, because clearly I'm not doing content besides this, and that's just the rut that I'm in. Yeah. But playing games, having fun, and talking on Twitter, so hit me up there. Rowan, who are you?
I'm Rowan, and I'm pretty much in the same spot as you, and mostly more. I want to make content, but work is currently sucking the soul directly out of my body. So, I will post videos when I do. You can find my YouTube, Rowan Hall. All my Pokemon VGC stuff is still there. If you are going to Toronto regionals, please hit me up. Say hi. I'm always looking to meet new people.
Yeah.
Please. Twitter, Rowan W Hall. Say weird things on my timeline. I don't know. Like, what do people use Twitter for? That's it. Sheldon, who are you?
I'm Sheldon. Find me on the Twitter at Captain_Unova. And, you know, I can't leave these guys alone and not do content, so I won't do any content either.
There we go. Yeah, no, it would
is
be
that,
rude.
Is, wait, hold on. Hold
yeah.
on. Is that what we're doing now? It's like,
you can blame us. It's fine.
Team.
I won't do content in solidarity.
But I will make some really bad teams to give to some other content creators and make them play.
Go look at everyone who played his bird team.
Wonder. We need more bird teams.
Yeah. Yes. I need to come
more
up with a new
teams.
theme. Yeah.
But together we've been the Game Corner. You can find us at Game Corner VGC on Twitter and the Game Corner VGC on YouTube. I should fix that. I don't. I say that like every episode.
You do.
But more importantly, all of our stuff is in the link tree down below, including our Discord and Patreon. Come check us out. Come hang out in the Discord. Come say hi. All that fun stuff. And until next time, press start and game on. Bye!